Hey guys! Happy Valentine's Day!
Hey.
I'm Raquel.
I'm Jake.
And this is Don't You Know?
I did it all romantically.
Yeah.
That's how I seduce all my ladies.
So, I know in our episode, not our last one, but the one before, we said our next episode was going to be on Valentine's Day. Haha, trick you. It wasn't on Valentine's Day. It was a special episode for our anniversary. But hopefully you weren't too disappointed.
Yeah, I think it was pretty fun.
So after this episode, guys, we're going to do like a quick week break. Hopefully between this episode and our last one, since there was only 4 days apart, it will whet your appetite until the next time we do our episode. Just have a lot of stuff going on. So I guess we could do little quick updates with podcast-wise. We have a new listener in Indiana.
Indiana. Very cool.
I don't think we've mentioned them. We said Illinois. Didn't do Indiana. And then for the month of January, California won for most downloads.
Congratulations.
It was by a landslide. It was a big amount.
Well, we all got together when we decided we would let you have one.
Uh-huh. Sure. Anyways. So, let's see, and we got our drawing thing that we'll be doing. I'm thinking maybe an addition. I don't know about you, but I had a lot of fun doing that wrong answer thing that we did.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
A couple episodes. So maybe we'll do that every month on the podcast. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do that. I'm going to try to see about doing a recording for Dragon Ball Z for Rocky Doesn't Game.
Nice.
That will be fun. We haven't done much in that regards. I think we still have one more video for Minecraft.
We
Part
do,
3.
yeah. It's been they're very difficult to edit.
And I know we still are been talking about doing Apex as well. So just been really busy. Haven't had time to do all of that. I guess with that, talking about being busy, we can kind of go into what's been going on with us. I don't know if you want to go first. Do you want me to go first?
I could go first. There was a sickness in my house, so we've been taking it easy here, and I've played a lot of...
Oh no, the coronavirus!
No, not the corona. No, this is something different, just a little cold. But anyway, I've been playing a lot of VR, doing Pavlov. Just recently. It's a shooty shoot. It's like Counter-Strike, pretty much. Anyway, doing that. And Elite Dangerous, which is that spaceship game that I'm still obsessed with. I've been playing it so much with my brothers. I've been playing with one brother one night, and then I played with the other brother the next night, but I can't get them to play together. Not just conflicting schedules. It's not disinterest. But other than that, nothing too much.
For me, I have been so busy, and I feel like I've been so stressed. So as you guys know, my grandpa passed. I've been having to put together some pictures and videos and all that stuff for my grandpa, so I've been doing that. I am almost done with putting all the videos together. I did that during lunch today. I did all the editing for that last episode. Threw that together. My car, I just found out it was the pistons for my car.
Oh,
so I still don't have my car. I'm not going to get that back until Wednesday or Thursday.
Have you been up to date on your oil schedule?
On my oil schedule? Yeah, I've been changing my oil like I should be. So,
okay.
I don't know.
Weird.
So it's still under warranty, so that's all going to be all covered.
That's good.
Since it's the pistons, which apparently are basically the middle of your engine, they have to take out the whole engine and take everything out.
They're the things that go up and down. It's the main part of your engine.
Yeah, so it's apparently a very big job. So they got the pistons on Friday, and so they said that they wouldn't be ready until Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not hitting the loaner as much. I still
That's right.
I still go to push the button on the outside of the car, even though there isn't one. And I still go to push the button in the engine, even though there isn't one.
Yeah.
That drives me absolutely crazy. But it's funny. Today has been like, okay, so driving this car, since it's a crossover, like a crossover SUV.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot different from my very small car. So right now, it doesn't feel as big as it did when I first got it. And I'm like, okay, you know what? This isn't quite like a really big car. I'm okay. Like, it's not that bad. The one thing though is like, it's not low to the ground. So like, there's been a couple of areas where I'm like really careful because it dips. And like, if I'm not careful with my car, it scratches the button of my car.
Uh-huh.
With this one, it's like, boom, boom. Oh, hey, like I didn't have to slow down or nothing. Like it just went, just continue onwards.
Better off-road suspension. Do you feel more not aggressive, do you feel more assertive as a driver now that you drive a bigger vehicle?
No, but you know what? I was driving this morning and I noticed two things. One, I was like, wait a second. That car in front of me is kind of low. It's different kind of seeing above a car. Because I've never seen above a car. I'm not like talking about like seeing over a car, but I'm like still like I was like looking down a little bit versus like looking kind of up.
Yeah, you can see their hood.
Yeah.
Their roof. I was
behind them. Yeah. So that was different. I mean, like I said, it's not a very, very big car. It's just higher up than my old one.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I wasn't looking up on every single car.
Right.
Another thing too I noticed is today has been like really, really windy. Like really windy. It was crazy. And normally when I drive my car, it's like I'm fighting with my steering wheel to like not be pushed. Yeah. With this one, I was like, wait a second. You know what? It's really windy, and I haven't even noticed it. I don't even feel it in this car.
It's too heavy.
Yeah.
That's funny. I thought you were gonna say it was collecting more wind and getting blown around more, but could have gone either way.
It's heavier. Yeah, I guess it's heavier. So I didn't feel the wind when I drove to work this morning or when I drove home. Mm-hmm. So I've had that. I had to get my little brother. This weekend has been kind of crazy. I didn't go too many places this weekend, but I've been like collecting all these photos from my grandpa, collecting all these videos from my grandpa. I was editing the podcast. I've been like crazy busy. I just haven't really left the house.
Responsibility.
Yeah, and this weekend I also had to go get my baby brother, a new phone. And oh my god, like I thought I was gonna kill someone at T-Mobile. So I got my little brother a phone. We were planning on going out to eat and go bowling as a family, but I had to get him a new phone first because his old phone wasn't working right.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, so we were there, and it took us forever to like transfer the data and all that stuff. And I have everyone kind of going, you know, what are you doing? Where are you? Blah blah blah. And so I had already told them I have to drop Frankie off, and then I have to go home and change first. We didn't think it would take all this stuff that long, and Dad still hadn't even left work yet by the time we had gone to T-Mobile.
Right.
So I had told both Nick and Dad this. They're guys. You guys don't listen, Jacob. You only half listen when people talk to you.
What?
So
that's a joke.
So I take my brother home, and all the lights are on at the house, you know, and normally, this is where it gets me. Normally, I pay attention and make sure that my brother gets inside the house. But I have everyone calling me going, where are you? What are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. I had called Nick, and I had told Nick I was outside the house. He's like, oh, okay. And I was like, okay. Frankie's phone wasn't working. Apparently, they hadn't updated the SIMS card. And I was like, okay, well, you guys are coming to get me. So I'll just call T-Mobile then. You have to get inside and shower. I have to get home and change. So like, let's just do that when we're all meet back up.
Right.
And I drive off. I get home. Nick, my dad, my uncle are all at this house. I had left Frankie outside. He had no way of getting inside the house.
Oh no.
And I had just told Nick I was outside the house, but he thought I meant this house.
Oh no.
It's dark. It's 8 o'clock. It's dark, and they're not in the safer area. He's got no way of, like, calling anyone.
Oh, no, that's spooky.
I was so mad. I was like, I told you guys I was dropping Frankie off. I had to go home and change. What are you guys doing here? And I was like, Frankie can't even call anyone. Get home. Get out of here. They're like, okay, Rico, let's go. I was like, I still have to change. But Frankie has no way of getting into the house. You guys need to leave right now. And I'm sitting here. Frankie's calling, like, T-Mobile. And, like, he has no access to my account.
Yeah.
He doesn't have my PIN. Right. I'm calling T-Mobile. There's nothing they can do because I need Frankie's SIM card number.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not by him. He's stuck outside, though. And he has no way of contacting anyone.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we're so sorry. Well, you know, like, if he calls and he, you know, he has your PIN. I was like, he doesn't have my PIN. Oh, well, if you can give him your PIN. I have no way of contacting him because you guys don't have his phone activated. We were at T-Mobile for an hour.
You guys sell solutions.
And we're like, oh, we're so sorry, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, your sorry doesn't help my little brother who's outside.
I'll send you all to the moon.
Yeah. So I was not happy at all, and I was yelling at like 3 different people, and yeah. So, and it was a big mess, and it really, really sucked. And so that was my...
I suppose now is a good time to introduce our sponsor now, T-Mobile. Probably this is the only episode.
So, yeah, so that was my weekend, and that's how it is going on for me. And so I had a very stressful weekend, and I have a stressful week ahead.
Yeah, that's frustrating. What are you doing to unwind? Any TV or video games or movies?
I am, like, so ready for, like, basically April. Because, like, for the rest of February...
Why are you rushing February? And March.
Let's just skip over March. March is my birthday, too, and I'm like, you know what, let's just skip over March. So, as you know, with my job, we're getting, like, the union stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Well, basically, we have to have everything kind of worked out, negotiation-wise, by March.
Okay.
So, everything's had to be done, basically, by the end of February. So, I have that, too. So, I've been talking with our union rep. So that's another thing that I'm kind of like, I have a whole bunch of stuff going on. So I'm trying to do that too. I'm trying to do the stuff with my grandpa, doing the podcast stuff. Yeah, I'm a little frazzled.
Busy.
March probably won't be as bad, but April will be even better because that's when our contract will start and we'll have more money.
Yeah. So the business
so kind of like ready for April because not only that, but then I have, you know, Anime Pasadena. I have WonderCon, like, and I have tickets to all this stuff already. Nice. So I'm like, kind of ready for that. Like, yeah, my birthday's in March, but everything that's good is happening in April.
You can celebrate life in April, right?
So, but February is going to be crazy and a little bit stressful and just like, I'm already over February. It's February 3rd today and I'm already over February.
Wow.
Yay!
Wow.
Anyways. So let's go ahead and talk, now that we've spent like 15 minutes talking about my life. Nah, it hasn't been that long, but still. Let's go ahead and do like movies and TV shows. I'll go ahead and start.
Okay, go ahead.
Because like, I don't really have much.
I got a lot. And a twist of fate.
Yeah, I haven't really watched much. I started to watch, was it She-Ra? Or something like that?
I don't know what that is.
It's She-Ra. It's like a Netflix original. It's see, I thought it was like the He-Man. Like, I thought it was He-Man, but like...
bird lady.
She's not a bird lady. At least not on Netflix, she's not. She-Ra. I just thought it was like the female version of He-Man.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of somebody else. She has like the female version of He-Man. She's like a paladin or something.
And I always thought they were in the same universe. But I guess, like, in the Netflix version, she's not. It focuses only on her. But originally, I think she was part of the He-Man universe. I'm not really sure. I know I saw a Funko Pop for She-Ra, and she looks just like this in the animation that they have for Netflix. And she's part of the Master Universe, which is the one where He-Man's in it, and your Skeletor guy is in it.
Ha ha! Yeah, yeah! I forgot how he goes.
Yeah.
The bird lady I'm thinking of is the sorceress of Castle Grayskull, also known as Tila Na. I've never seen this show. I only know it from memes. I'm gonna level with you completely.
So I don't know really much in that particularly. I just know in this cartoon-wise. I'm pretty sure it's a cartoon. I don't think it is an anime. Let's see. Origin, United States. So yes, cartoon. It does have kind of like a little bit of like kind of an anime kind of feel to it, but it is a cartoon. Animation, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty good so far. It keeps me entertained at least, you know. Not anything too much specific wise. I don't necessarily hate it. Don't necessarily like love it either, but I have watched like the whole first season and like started the second season. So it's kind of like I'm invested. yeah, I have been invested.
You're not a huge fan, but you're seeing where it goes.
Yeah, fair enough. Exactly. It is, I mean, on IMDb, it got 7.3 out of 10 stars. So, I mean, it's not a bad show. It is not very, like, I don't know. It's not like the greatest, yeah. The characters and stuff like that, they're kind of, I don't know. I like her. She was taken in, basically, by the bad guys. Mm-hmm. And she kind of, like, ends up stumbling upon the rebels. Like, they're called the rebels, and when you think of rebels, you usually kind of think, like, the bad guys, but they're not. They're actually kind of the good people.
Well, it depends on what franchise. Star Wars are the good guys.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess. You know what? And even, I guess, technically, United States would have been the rebels in,
this
you know.
Revolutionary War, yeah. It all depends on what side of history you're standing on. Who's good and who's bad. That's very judgmental of you.
Yeah.
Alright, sorry. They're rebelling from...
Well, because, I mean, when you think, like, oh, I'm a rebel, like, when you're talking about, like, when... they're usually referred to the people who are, like, the bad influence. But in historical times and, revelations and stuff like that, rebels tend to be more of the good. So I guess it really depends on...
It depends. You can be a rebel... You can rebel against a, like, authoritative dictatorship or something. Or you could just be a rebel without a cause. And I think that's just silly.
Yeah. So, when I first was watching this, I was like, okay, so I could kind of see where she was coming, because she thought she was one of the good guys and that they were stopping, because they're called the rebels, and so she was like, she thought she was part of the good guys and, like, was stopping them, and then she actually sees how they're, like, living and realizes, like, hey, they're just kind of protecting themselves. We're actually the bad guys who are coming and attacking.
Are we the baddies?
Yeah, like, basically, it's like, she was like, wait a second. We're the bad guys, like, I thought we were fighting, like, but yet, we're the bad guys. Like, she's grew up her whole life fighting, and, like, believing, like, magic is bad, and all this other stuff, and, she comes across the sword basically picks her, and she becomes She-Ra, and,
I see.
So, I'm kind of watching it, and I'm just like, so there's parts of it, it is, like, kind of, to me, kind of comes off as a kind of like a cartoon, and so some of it is, to me, you know, feels childish kind of in a way, like certain concepts, you know what I'm talking about, like, I don't know, but it does have its, you know, kind of deeper meaning behind it. She's got, like, her best friend that she grew up with, and there's a lot of conflict between her, and she ends up kind of rising in the ranks since she's left. Because she was always kind of, like, in her shadow.
Yeah.
And now that she has gone, she's kind of, like, not in her shadow anymore. But, like, yet they kind of, like, have this kind of, like, you're my best friend, and I want you to, like, back, but at the same time, now I've risen in rank since I'm not in your shadow anymore. And her character, I kind of like her character, because she, you know, in a way kind of misses her friend. But at the same time, like, now she's not in her shadow, and so she kind of, like, become, like, a bad person, but, I don't know. Anyways, I think it's a pretty good show. I kind of like the bad guys more than I like the good guys, honestly, but, I don't know, just their characters and personalities.
Little tiger villain?
Yeah. Catra. I don't know, they're Catra, yeah. their personalities are just, to me, more interesting. I don't know. I feel like the good guys kind of just are, I don't know, they're just kind of boring to me. Yeah, because, I mean, she's still kind of, like, realizing, because, I mean, she grew up in the other sides, where they're just learned to fight and all this stuff, and so now she's kind of like, ooh, like, all this good food, oh, like, partying, dancing, blah, 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 so, you know, she's like, wow, you know, I really kind of grew up, like, differently, so she's kind of, like, learning that kind of stuff, and she's trying to get her best friend to, like, you know, look, like, we're the bad guys. We were the bad guys. Kind of join the rebels with me, you know, and like, let's be, you know, whatever. And she's the good guy. So, you know, she doesn't really want to fight her best friend, but her best friend really she has no qualm about it.
She has to do it diplomatically.
Yeah. So and like, you know, I don't know. So for me, you know, I'd root for the good people because like, the bad guys, basically, they kind of just want to take over, and that kind of destroys everything. But at the same time, individually, I like those characters more. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want the bad guys to win, but at the same time, I like the bad guys more than I like the good guys. Like, I like their characters more. You want the bad guys
to join the good guys' side.
Yeah, basically. That's what I would like.
There'd be no story.
Because, like, the main bad guy, the head of all of this, I don't really like him.
The guy with the skeleton face?
Yeah.
Not skeleton,
I don't really like
but
him.
he's got like a mask. It's like a different guy.
So I don't really like him that much. Once again, I've only am into season 2, so maybe things change. But for right now, I like, what's her name? Ketra. And I like the, like, lobster girl. She has, like, claws and stuff like that. She has, like, claws and stuff like that. She was a princess. I guess technically she still is a princess. Because there's lots of princesses. And, I kind of like her, too. She kind of comes off as, like...
Oh, I see her.
Kind of ditzy in a way, but I kind of like her, too. And, another one of the princesses, she's, like, I guess, like... She's almost neutral. She has joined, like... Spoiler alert, she joins the bad side.
That's a good spoiler alert there.
Yeah. I mean, that happens the first season. There's 4 seasons. I mean, who knows? She could join the good side because, like, she starts off on the good side, joins the bad side, but at the same time, she kind of, like, she likes tech. She likes knowledge. And so, on the bad side, she kind of can expand on it. They don't really hold her back. You know, that's why she's on that side, because she has the potential to do more and learn more, where she felt kind of, like, sheltered on the good side. She was like, kind of like, no, don't do this, or like, she just didn't have really, whereas the bad guys are like, yeah, go ahead, build more weapons, we will love it, go ahead. Oh, that, like, hurts them? Okay, who cares? Like, go ahead, keep building, like, we're all for it, good, yeah, we like that. Whereas, you know, like, the good guys, like, oh, we don't want to really, like, we don't want to kill anyone, you know? Like, we're a robot here is, like, too dangerous. It just, like, hurt people. We don't want that. We just want to defend ourselves kind of thing, you know? Whereas the bad guys are like, yeah, we want to take over people. So, you know, the deadlier, the better. Keep building. Right. So she just kind of, you know, right now she's on the bad side just because, you know, she can do more. You know, there's not more limitations. And I think that's probably why I like a lot of these characters, is because they're really on the bad side just because there is, like, they don't have as much limitation. And so their characters themselves are good, and I like them, but they can't fit in. They basically really are, like, they're more like the rebels without the cause kind of thing, you know?
They're being bad just for the sake of being bad.
Yeah, basically. They don't come off as, like, true kind of, like, villains. They're just almost like, it makes me think of, like an episode in Harley Quinn where it's, like, Poison Ivy, there's this one chick, and I think I have talked about it, and it was, like, a really interesting episode where this actual guy, Poison Ivy goes, we're bad, you know, we're bad guys, but we're not, like, bad people. And she is just bad, and Poison Ivy is like, I don't know what you're talking about, we're all bad guys. And so she, like, invites this one girl, she gets out, this villain, she gets out of I think I've mentioned it, she was entrapped in this book, and then they decide that it was cruel and unusual punishment, so they let her out. Mm-hmm. But they were going to take her off to prison, but but Harley Quinn like breaks her out. She joins the crew, and she ends up like killing off all this whole like family reunion.
Wow.
And like it's like bloody and gory, and like it like even like shows more how this is not a cartoon. And that's when she was like, oh yeah, so like we're bad people, but like we're not like bad like that. We have lines still. And so it's the same way with like them. They're bad people, but at the same time they're like not like true villains. Like, I mean, they do kind of like fight and like hurt people and all this stuff, and obviously people die, but they like we're gonna just kill people.
Yeah, they're not like torturing people and put them on spikes and stuff. There's a part in Fallout about that. That's the game that I like a lot. And there's like later on you meet these 3 factions, and one of them is like party animals, and they're like they all work together. The 3 factions of the Raiders group. And one of them's like party animals and stuff, and the other one, they just care about money, and so they're like gamblers and stuff. And then the third one are like the sadistic killers and things. And the other two guys are like, look, we understand like what the other one wants to do, but the other guys are like, they're crazy. Like, you need to be careful about them. The different flavors of evilness.
Yeah, I mean, towards the end of the first season, I thought Catra was kind of going towards that. She was kind of pulling like Azula from Last Airbender, where she started to kind of go crazy kind of feel. Uh-huh. So she was kind of going, and she had a set goal, and she just kind of was so focused on looking good in the villain side. Like, she was so focused on trying to, like, rank up that she was, like, didn't care who got in her way, and she was just hurting people. But she was kind of like, I want to, kind of rank up. Like a Slytherin. She didn't really, like, care that it hurt people. She just kind of was, like, focused on her goal and wanted to go in.
Just wanted the power.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know, her character may or may not change. I don't know, we'll see how second season goes.
I'm anxious to hear about it.
So, that's mine. Go ahead and do yours.
All right.
And then we can go on our topic.
I'll do mine kind of quickly. So, I have been watching more of Sabrina. I talked about that last episode.
Oh. Don't ruin it now, because I haven't seen season 3 yet.
Okay, we just finished season 4, I think.
No. Well, maybe there's not 4th season.
I have no idea. Then we've all.
I haven't seen the last season that's up yet, so don't ruin it.
I won't say anything spoilery, but it's crazy. It's crazy.
I just haven't had a chance yet. It's on the list. I've been watching She-Ra.
Well, we casually finished that. I watched the first. So a little while ago, I watched a TV show called You. Diana showed it to me. But
I haven't seen the second season of that yet either.
Oh, no, me either. I saw like one episode, I guess, in the second season, but I wasn't really paying too close attention because I didn't know anybody. But we went back and watched the first episode, and it's pretty good. If you haven't watched the show, which it sounds like you have, first episode's pretty cool. And I'm sure the rest of the episodes are too, but it's laid out. I thought it was just like, I heard it was just like Dexter, but different, and I was like, whatever. But it is a little different. That's a pretty broad approach at it, I think. It's more of it's more of the stalker type and less of I guess Dexter's a stalker too. I don't know. Dexter seems more situational, and this guy seems way more intentional.
Yeah, it's really good. I do enjoy it. I do want to see the second season. It's just, after watching first few episodes of season 1, it definitely is not really an appropriate show to be playing while at work.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's,
for sure.
It does have a lot of not safe for work scenes. So that's why I haven't seen the second season yet, because I just don't have time while I'm at home to watch it. And it is one of those ones that you have to kind of you have to be paying attention.
You have to get like a little eyeglass piece with the little visor so you can watch it there. I don't think they'd let you have that at work. Well,
like I said, it's one of those ones that you can't, you really do need to pay attention. I do have to go back and watch the last few episodes of season 1, just because I was cleaning my room, and, that's when I was, really close to being done, so I was really focusing on that, and so I missed some stuff going on in the last few episodes. So, because it is, you can kind of, only somewhat watch it, but I feel like you miss out on so much of it. It is really good. And it's one of those ones that you should just sit down and watch.
No, it's pretty nice. I'll definitely watch it again if it's put on. But from there, we went to watch The Witcher, Have you heard of or seen that one yet?
Oh, I heard that's so good. It's on my list of things to watch
It's
too.
pretty good. I've heard of it, and I heard a lot of people saying it was good. I didn't really plan to watch it, but it was suggested.
It's a game too.
Yeah, I've seen the game, a bunch of the game. I watched 100 episodes of a playthrough of the game, but I haven't played the game. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, because I think my brother played the game.
It's pretty popular. It's a great game. Fantastic.
Yeah, and I think my brother watched the show just because of the game.
Probably. I'm sure a lot of people do.
I've heard so much good things about it, the show.
Yeah.
So that's why it's on my list of things to watch too. I have a huge list of things to watch.
Oh yeah, tell me all. So it's pretty good as far as like, so the tone of it fits with the game where it's very, very, very dark and gritty and stuff, and they don't really hold any punches at all. Like they do just about everything on the show. But it's pretty fun. It's very neat. I like the Geralt character. I liked him in the game. You know, he's super intense, way too cool for school, but he's so crazy intense. But the whole universe in the show isn't really. You know, it knows how to laugh at itself. It's pretty nice. It's not too much.
That's interesting that you say that, because Frankie was telling me some of the stuff that the actor did in preparation of this show, and it was crazy too. Some of the stuff
wild. And he nails the role too. He does it so well.
Because Frankie was saying that, like, in certain scenes where he is, I guess, shirtless or whatever, to make himself bigger and more defined, he wasn't, like, eating or drinking water.
Oh, yeah, bodybuilders do that all the time. Like, anytime
yeah, and that's why
I
told Frankie, too. Because Frankie was saying that. He was saying, like, I thought you're not allowed to do that. And I was like, well, it depends. Like, if you're not doing it for, like, that day or whatever, or maybe, like, a couple days, bodybuilders do that too. They don't drink or whatever, just to do more definition.
I'm sure he's got a doctor watching him and what he's doing. I'm sure he's doing it safely.
Wrestlers will do that. They won't drink water or whatever, so that they can weigh less. And then after they weigh in, they'll drink water.
It's fine enough.
Yeah, like even I've heard that like wrestlers will like not even like shower that day or whatever, so that the water doesn't like absorb into their skin or whatever.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know how much that would really count. That's crazy.
I don't know. Like I said, I mean, like if you're like pushing that weight, like you're trying to make sure you're underweight, like under that like goal.
Yeah, so you can get the smallest person you have to fight. If I go back to the show, it's really good. It's the CGI is very nicely done. It's like after seeing a couple different shows, I can really tell there's a lot of budget for CGI. The monsters are very believable and very creepy too. And yeah, the acting's pretty good. Some of the fighting is really well done. There was like the first fight, he does like this like downward sword thing, which I'm not a big fan of or whatever. And so does the guard. It's like you would never see that in real life, but they both do it. And you're like, what's going on here? But overall, the fighting's pretty cool and it's well done. And even like down to the romance. I was talking to a friend at work today, and even the romance in the show, which I don't usually go for, you know, being a dude. No, it's still pretty good. It's very believable. Like, you can see the characters, like, talking to each other, and you're like, yeah, it just feels like they're just really there, I guess. It's nicely done.
It sounds like it's a big, like, I think I probably am gonna go, for my high school reunion, and I'm probably gonna try to go for, like, a week, like, take a week off of work.
Nice.
And so, obviously, I'm gonna see you guys.
Yeah, that'd
be cool. It sounds like we are gonna be having, like, TV/movie marathons and video game marathons while I'm there.
Yeah, definitely in VR all the time. I'm playing Pavlov.
Definitely have to go to the Rickery.
Alright, well, you want to roll up into our topic?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into that. Because, like I said, I have to, like, I'm going to have a lot of editing to do, and I just don't have a lot of time to do a big episode. And besides, it's only Valentine's Day anyways episode, and I'm not even... And, like, obviously, you know, we have to do an episode on Valentine's Day because it's a big holiday, but I'm not a very over-romantic person. I think you may be, but I'm not, so I'm not really very...
My heart runs deep with capacity for love. It's like a cup full of liquid that's been capacitated by the bowl. That's my poetry.
For me, I just kind of like... Valentine's Day, whatever. So I'm not very invested into this topic. Even my article is like, you guys will see once I talk about it. But, you know, for me, and this is one of my discussions, like for me, for like a perfect Valentine's Day wouldn't even really be like going out and doing the typical like dinner or having like a big kind of thing. Like I'd be totally down just to like have a nice like maybe dinner inside and watch a movie or something like that. Watch a horror movie. I wouldn't even want to watch like a romantic movie. I want to be like, have a nice like junk food. I wouldn't, actually, you know what? I wouldn't want dinner, like a nice dinner. I want to be like junk food, glory, popcorn, candy, horror movie. Like, that would be that would be the perfect Valentine's Day for me. That would be the perfect date period.
For me, I'm a big fan of staying in, because going out's crazy, and everything's going to be crazy, and it's going to be so packed. So staying in, but, you prep before, and you get, like, a really nice, like, it doesn't even have to be, like, from scratch. Like, I would probably do, like, a nice, we get a lasagna that we get a lot, and it's pretty tasty, and I would probably heat that
Stouffer's?
up. Yeah.
That's my favorite.
We had it yesterday.
It's like the only lasagna I like.
Yeah, the vegetable's really good, and the meat's really good, but...
Oh, no, I get the all meat.
All meat.
Stouffer one.
Try the vegetables sometime. It's a whole different one.
I do.
You have one and then get the other the next day. It's good for you. It's a whole different... It's a white sauce, too. Anyway,
I'm short. I don't eat my vegetables, duh. Obviously.
Anyway, I would do a meal that you enjoy cooking. And heat that up and stay and watch, a bottle of wine maybe, and get a nice movie or something, but definitely spending time together. And, I'd probably bring some flowers and or some chocolate. I don't think you can go wrong there. It's a little cliche. Keeps the companies funded, all these made-up holidays, but, girl comes to expect it. You gotta take care of your lovely ones.
For me, let's see, the guys I've dated never have been dating someone on Valentine's Day, so I never like had a like that kind of Valentine's Day. Usually my uncle will get me like a flower for Valentine's Day.
Nice.
And my dad will sometimes do something big and sometimes he doesn't do anything.
My mom usually sends a card. It's very sweet.
Yeah. Growing up, my mom...
Sometimes my grandma will too.
And I guess my dad used to give us like candies and stuff like that for Valentine's Day. A couple years ago, my dad... I don't know what it was. Like, my dad decided to go, like, all out, and he got me, like, this anime pillow and poster and, like, candies.
Like a body pillow?
He did, like, this huge... no, not a body pillow. It was just, like, a little, like...
Those anime body pillows?
No, I know what you're talking about. No, it was just, like, a little square pillow. Flowers. Like, he went, like, all out, and, like, also, since I go to work so early, he had came over when he knew I would be asleep.
Oh, yeah.
And he set it all up so that when I woke up in the morning, so he went, like, all out that Valentine's. I don't know why.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, I definitely enjoyed it, and it wasn't, like... So that wasn't nice. That was probably one of my, like, best Valentine's Day. I also... Okay, so, in Japan, I kind of... Once I, like, have a serious relationship, I would totally be okay with doing, like, the way that Japan does it.
How do they do it?
In Japan, on Valentine's Day, the girls give chocolates, and the guys on, I think it's like March, like 15th, they will in turn give the girls gifts back.
Oh, okay.
And so, what I always do, which I think I even talked about on a couple episodes back, is making chocolates. So I make chocolates.
That's right. Yeah, I do remember that.
They have different types of chocolates. Usually what you do is you give like coworkers and friends like that chocolates, usually store-bought chocolates, and then for like a special someone, you make homemade chocolate. Well, I usually just make homemade chocolate for everyone.
Nice.
And sometimes they do that. They'll do like homemade chocolate for like friends and stuff like that too. Usually when they do that, it's because they're making homemade chocolate for someone special, but they don't want to like make it like obvious that they like them. So they're like, oh, I just made homemade chocolates for everyone. But in reality, like theirs is like a little bit more special.
Right.
Like,
oh, I see. I heard you say, so, man, you got Hershey's. I'm sorry. Be nicer to me next year.
So I usually make chocolates. I think I'm going to try something different this year. I mean, I did do something different this year because this is coming out on Valentine's Day.
Right. Of course.
My plan. So, yeah, so I'm going to do that. And that's going to be my Valentine's Day today. Single awareness.
Yeah, I
just had to say that, obviously.
That's funny. No, I mean, you could always just... So, here, you could always just, like... So, with it being Single Awareness Day, would you ever celebrate Single Awareness Day with a mutual friend, or with a friend, or something like that?
We actually, one year, it was while we were in college, me, Lindsay... I'm trying to remember which year it was, because that will depend on who went. I think it was junior year.
That year. No, I'm just
well,
joking.
Because, okay, so freshman year, like, was a bigger group, and then come towards senior year, there wasn't as many. We were still friends with everyone, but since like 2 of our friends freshman year became RAs, so we didn't hang out with them as often.
Yeah.
And then junior year, Sasha ended up leaving after junior year, so senior year our group was a lot smaller of who we all went and did stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to say it was junior year, but I think Sasha was probably somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say it was Lindsay, Kristen, Ashley, and me. We decided we were all going to have a nice little dinner for Valentine's Day, and we went to Olive Garden.
Nice.
But we went early enough that there was no one there. So it was a nice. We had
Sweet.
a nice little dinner. So yeah, that's how we celebrated Signal Awareness Day.
How fancy, on the topic of Olive Garden, is there always that meme? There's like, oh, there's always that guy from your hometown, the guy who thinks that Olive Garden is fancy. Do you think Olive Garden is good for Valentine's Day?
Love Olive Garden.
Me too. We're not sponsored. It's just good.
So I love their bread.
They're so good.
My thing is like I go
totally
and
fine.
get I get the pasta, but I only eat a couple of bites of that. I fill up on breadsticks and then take everything else home.
You got the game plan.
Yep.
I'll eat about half my entree and take the other half home, and then you fill up on breadsticks.
See, like their pasta, because usually I get like their spaghetti or something like that. My brother's like their chicken Alfredo. Like their pasta dishes and stuff like that, if you're going for like dinner, is big enough for like 2 meals. So basically I eat like just a little bit of it, but I take that mainly home, but I fill up on breadsticks. So basically I pay for like 3 meals.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty good. Getting your money's worth. Don't you know you gotta dress up at least a little bit for Valentine's Day if you're going out, especially on a date.
Don't you know that if you're going out, you need to make sure you make reservations because it gets crowded.
It does get crowded. Yeah, and if you're going someplace without reservations, well, you're either pretty lucky, you're eating late, or you know people. Pro tip, you can slip the host about $50, $20, depending on where you're at. They might bump you up. Never know.
Yeah, maybe.
Saw it in a movie once.
According to Big Bang, it doesn't work that way. That was funny. They did a whole episode like a Valentine's Day episode for Big Bang Theory, and there is one point where there are reservations, and but they were so far behind. And, Penny was like, go slip him some money. And, he tried to do that, and he, failed big time. But he didn't do it really that great. He tried to be subtle about it and just, really failed.
They did that in Friends, which aired in the 90s.
Huh?
Sorry. Throwing shade.
So I only have an article left, and that's it. Like I said, I didn't have that much stuff, because I'm not really big on Valentine's Day or romantic stuff, so.
Alright, let's hear your article, and I'll think of some topics on the way.
This article, kind of emphasizes, how I am, not very romantic. I thought this article was interesting because it talks about, science.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes down to, love.
I don't believe in love. I believe in science.
I believe in science. And so, it was just, as I was reading through it, I was like, wow, this is, really interesting because it talks about different things about, kind of, the law of attractions kind of stuff.
Okay.
And it was interesting because, apparently, for women, depending on your menstrual cycle, can depend on what you're attracted to for guys-wise.
Okay.
I thought that's what, really, I was like, what? It kind of drew me in. I was like, that's weird. That's interesting.
So is this a monthly or a weekly change kind of thing, or?
Yeah, so apparently during ovulation, so the time that when women are most fertile, they're more attracted to guys with, more masculine faces and all that kind of stuff. So basically more, manly man.
If you got a beard and she's fertile, she's gonna grab your beard.
But then apparently the rest of the time, females are more attracted to guys who are more nurturing and sensitive. And would make good father. So basically, women are more interested in, basically they want to have a baby with someone who's masculine, but yet they want to raise the baby with someone who's their sensitive best friend. They want to
mooch off the safe guy and then go find a stud on the side and then make the safe guy raise the stud's baby. That's terrible. This is the worst article. That's just, are you saying that's just biologically what women want to do? That's it. You're all monsters. A guy would never do that. We would love and cherish and take care of you forever, literally until we died. Not all of us. Throw stereotypes in both of these here. No, but it makes sense. And
with guys, it says, with guys, their preferences are more straightforward, kind of basically, the typical, the women that would be best to bear children kind of interested. Like, smaller waists, bigger hips, and all that stuff.
I think
Perfect
smaller
hair,
waist is
skin,
strictly
nails.
from TV, though, and like models and stuff. I don't think that has anything to do with biological ability to have children, because biologically, like, you get, like, somebody, who's sturdy, can last through childbirth and stuff. That's your ideal biologically, Somebody who's strong, can fight off the winter, can use a plow. Borat.
So this talks about a study that they did where, for guys who did like that lap dances, they found that the lap dancers who are ovulating had received better tips.
Wow.
So that kind of goes into play with like childbearing, like apparently more attractive, like whatever. And then of course it also says depends on the culture. They found that where food is like in short supply, men tend to prefer women with higher BMIs.
Oh yeah.
All that stuff.
So you can eat them if you starve to death. No.
One of the biggest thing about this article that I found interesting was, okay, so apparently our sense of smell is like pretty good. We're just not very conscious of it kind of thing.
No, I know what you're talking about. Sometimes you smell a scent and it like launches you right back to a time and place and you're like, what the heck?
No, like apparently we can smell things that we're not very conscious that we could smell it, but our body reacts in a way.
Oh
like,
no. I see where this is going.
I read before about an article, it was talking about the possibilities of why, women sync up on their cycles.
Yep.
And one of the suggestions is that apparently women could, like, the sense of smell, and it causes their body to start to sync up because they could smell it, was one of the reasons.
Mm-hmm.
This article talks about that women apparently can smell certain, like, genes when it comes, like, immune system genes.
Oh, yeah.
And that you will be, women are more likely to be attracted to a men's scent that has a different set of immune system genes from you.
I've heard that you like complement each other or something like that.
Yeah, and so you are basically like, you want your child to kind of like have both.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about this is that they found a study that when women were on, birth control though, they tend to pick, like, it wasn't, like, basically it wasn't the case when it came down to, if they were on the pill, it didn't have a big significant, whereas the females that weren't were more attracted to men that had that immune system difference. Uh-huh. Whereas if you were on the pill, that wasn't a factor.
Right.
And so they were talking about how a possibility of and I don't know, like I said, this is just what the article says, that this could be a possibility of why, like, there's a lot more, like, divorce and stuff like that, was because, like, when you're on the pill, you're not picking men that have the different immune system.
You're not picking the right guys.
Yeah. And so then when you come off of it, now, where you would have normally not picked that guy, now it becomes a problem because you're not on the pill.
I see. So if you start a relationship and then you decide that you want to start on the pill, you might just not like the guy anymore.
No, it's more the opposite way. Whereas if you're on the pill and then you stop taking it, now
you might realize how grotesque
you're not immune system. Yeah, now you're not realizing that you guys' genes are too similar and it's like not attractive anymore.
I see. And you might break up with them. Don't you know? I think it's bad form to break up on Valentine's Day. At least wait until like the next week or something, right? The next day.
Yeah.
But then again, if you break... Oh, here's something.
By the way, our next topic will be on breakups.
Oh, yeah, perfect. I'll plan one. No. If she's listening, she's going to be freaking out. No, I'm just joking. No. I was going to say, on the other hand, while I say you shouldn't break up with somebody on Valentine's Day, on the one hand, if you break up with them before Valentine's Day, you don't have to buy them a gift. And if you break up with them after Valentine's Day, I guess you still don't have to give them a gift, but then they give you a gift and then you break up with them. So you could always plan around that if that's how you roll. But that's kind of rude.
I feel like it's awful to break up with someone before Valentine's Day, but at the same time, like, You're gonna drag it on. Like, you don't want to. If you don't want to be with the person, you shouldn't like force yourself to be with them either, just so that you're not
don't be miserable.
alone. Like, Raj did that. He didn't want to be alone on Valentine's Day, and so like,
you won't.
like,
You just call up your side chick.
Still,
no, that's a joke.
Jacob.
It's a joke. No, but realistically, like, if you break up, you just go, oh, I just been broken up with the day before Valentine's Day. Someone hit me up. Someone will hit you up.
Yeah, like, I like, if you don't want to hurt the person, I guess, that's a little bit better. But if you just don't want to be alone on Valentine's Day, that, to me, is, like, not a good enough reason not to break up with someone before Valentine's Day.
What about, let's say you're alone and you don't have friends. Would you ever do it? They call date yourself. Would you go out alone on Valentine's Day and have a nice fancy meal?
I don't go out alone as it is now. I have brothers.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, that's true. Say.
So, but no, I mean, like I said, I don't particularly want, like, to, I did that with friends, we went out to have a nice dinner, but we also went early enough that we didn't have to deal with the crowds and stuff like that.
Right.
I don't.
That's the big issue.
Nobody wants really the crowds. Want to deal with that, especially like since Valentine's is on a Friday this year. It's like gonna be even worse.
Super crowded.
Kind of like, no, I don't want to do all that. Like Sonic's coming out. I'm like, I'll just wait until the next week because people are gonna go see movies for Valentine's Day. And I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to be with all those people there. I'll just wait until next week.
Kissing and feeding each other popcorn. Y'all are disgusting.
Well, I just don't want to deal with the crowd. Everyone want to be in line for popcorn. I'm going to wait forever. And they're going to be like, oh, sweetie, what do you want? I want this chocolate and this. And this. I'm like, oh my God, please just hurry up and order. I want to get my popcorn and go sit down.
Should we get the extra butter? At the butter station.
Should we share a drink?
Line.
So,
I like Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
Me too.
Go be cutesy in your seats, man. I want to get my food and sit down. Anyways, I'm done. So,
yeah, I'm done too.
Thanks for listening to us, guys. We're sorry if you were expecting a cutesy, romantic podcast episode for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we don't do that here.
But we don't do that here. Exactly. You come for funny? Well, you got it. Maybe. Maybe. You come for romance? You're in the wrong podcast. Yep. Sorry.
Ain't none of that here.
You want horror? Wait until Halloween. We got you.
Yeah, we got you all season.
All the time. Sometimes our jokes are just horrific. Until next time. Oh, well, as you guys know, please share us. Subscribe, follow. You can catch us on Twitter at don'tyouknowpod, or you can send us an email at don'tyouknowpod@gmail.com. We're sorry. You can complain to us there if you are like, I wanted something romance. Maybe we'll send you a nice little romantic picture of Jacob. Tell us why you're single. He'll have a flower in his mouth, like that little. It's so mean. I'm just teasing. Anyways, guys, until next time. See ya. See ya.